Welcome back, guys. In this video we're going to go over the function of the diverter stem in this Gerber 3-valve shower body. Now let me preface this by saying, if you didn't watch my video on how to replace the stems and seats in the cold and hot water sides of this shower body, I suggest you go back and watch it. This is going to be an abbreviated version whereby I'm just going to basically explain the function of the diverter. But all the little tips and tricks on how to remove the handles, get the seats out, etc., you'll see that in the first video. So check that first video out. So to remove this diverter stem, we're going to go through the same moves, so to speak, as removing the hot and cold water stems. First, we have to get this plastic cap off, and that, again, like I explained in the previous video, they may come off, they may break, they may crack. I mean, you know, that's just the case, and you're probably going to end up having to replace them, but that's not a problem. They should be readily available. Then we're going to go in here with a Phillips screwdriver, back the screw off, and again, this handle may or may not come off. If it doesn't come off, you'll go in there, again, watch that first video, you'll get your handle pullers, and we'll go through the motions of removing the handle so that handle comes off. Then we're going to move to the escutcheon plate here, and we're going to loosen this little set screw that's in here to get this off. And by the way, guys, you don't have to shut the water off in this one. In the first one, you actually had to shut the water off to the house because you were actually removing the hot and cold water stems. In this particular case, you don't have to do it. As long as these are closed, in the closed position, meaning in this case these are round handles, so they're like stems, so they're going to close clockwise. As long as they're closed, no water is going to come out of here. The only time water actually is introduced to the middle of this shower body is if these are on. So it's either coming out of the bottom or it's going up to the top. So you don't have to shut the water off in this case. Just leave these off. And what you'll do is, at least what I like to do is, I like to initially put this in the neutral position, and when I put that in the neutral position, I allow air to go into the shower body up on top, and then that riser pipe will empty out and it'll all come out the tub nozzle, which is great. Now we'll take that handle off. Again, as in the previous video, if this is filled with cement or tile grout, you're going to have to chip that out, chop it out, take the silicone out of there. Whatever's in there, you're going to have to take out of there to free the sleeve up. And again, the sleeve probably is not going to come out, so you're probably going to have to grab this, and you may scratch it, you may egg shape it, and if that's the case, you're going to have to replace it. And like I explained in the first video, I carry, you know, I carry handles, I carry sleeves, I carry escutcheons, and I always have them available to me should I need them. So I'm going to take this off. And then we're going to go in there with our socket wrench. And we will proceed to back off that diverter stem. And here is your diverter stem. Now you'll see, I mean, if you watch my other video, you'll see how different this is. And the function of this diverter stem is such that when this is closed, or when this washer is up against the seat that's in the back of the body here, the water actually goes up to the shower head. The water actually comes in through the body, it finds its way in through these little holes here, and it'll actually go up an opening in the shower body when this is in the closed position. And that restricts the flow somewhat because you have the water coming in these little slots here. Then when you turn it 180 degrees and you actually open, or you lift off on the stem and go this way, then what happens is that the water actually goes full flow in through the seat and down through the nozzle. So when it's in the down position, you're getting water out of the shower head. When it's backed off in this position, you're actually diverting the water down to the nozzle. And this little rubber washer here And this, if you can imagine, this is like a seat. So you have a rubber washer and another seat here, and this is preventing the water from seeping back up into the shower. Now, a lot of times I'll get a call where they're getting water out of the top and they're getting water out of the bottom, and this washer is all destroyed. The washer is either all destroyed, it's missing, or the seat is all cut up, and that's what the problem is when you're getting water coming out of both ends. But again, when this is fully up against the seat, the water is coming out of the shower. When you back this off, the water in turn flows full through the nozzle. Now, when you're going to replace these, I always advocate getting an original equipment part. You try to match this up with the original manufacturer. I know that's a little difficult to do because in the world we live in, everything's aftermarket, but if you can get original parts, that's great. Don't forget, guys, you're going to have to go in here, get your seat removal tool, as I explained in the first video, and there is a seat in here. So you'll go in there, you're going to tap this off, take out your seat, put your new seat in, and then you'll have your new diverter nozzle, as I have here. Don't forget, make sure this washer is on here, this little nylon washer. If it's not in here, look inside with a flashlight. Sometimes it gets stuck. And again, you don't want to have this like this. You can see how far away this is. You want to back this off, which is basically going to simulate, you know, having the stem in the open position. We'll go in. We'll put our diverter nozzle in here. We'll get our socket wrench. I'm going to snug that up. Again, we're going to get our silicone lube or our waterproof grease. And we're going to liberally put some silicone grease on the female part of the sleeve, as well as the male threads before we put it in there. You want to put your silicone grease on here, and you also want to tighten up on the packing nut. That's that nut in here before you put this in there, because it's easier to do. In this case, his body is set quite deep. Now, we'll put our sleeve on. We're going to follow up with our escutcheon. We want to tighten that escutcheon. Again, we want to get our grease. We want to fill up the handle with a nice liberal amount of silicone grease. We'll put that on there. Now remember, we have this in the open position, so we're going to want to close it. So close, remember what I said, close it's coming out of the shower. But we don't want it to come out of the shower. We want it to come out of the bottom. So we're going to face it in the opposite direction. We're going to get our screw. We're going to get that on there. We're going to put our cap back. And guys, that's it. You just replaced the diverter nozzle in your 3-valve tub and shower faucet. Relatively simple, not too difficult. That'd be the shower position, and this would be the tub faucet position. Pretty easy, guys. If you have any questions about it, or there's something you think I missed, please shoot me an email, info@bobsplumbingvideos.com. Guys, I'm glad you stopped by. Again, if you didn't see the first video on how to change the cold and hot water stems, check it out. I go into detail about the tools I use and how to go about in the process. And I look forward to seeing you again in future videos. Please stop by often, tell your friends about it, and I will see you soon. Happy plumbing, guys.